line.
And your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares, partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Boom, boom, boom. We're back with another one. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Friday, July 24th. We're back here on MCG. So welcome to another episode, another stream, another wonderful day in these markets. Hope you guys are doing well. Markets have been good, man. Look, I get it. Robinhood is on its little pullback vibe. Things are starting to bounce here this morning. But at the end of the day, we haven't had this much opportunity in a long, long time. And let me pull up the Bitcoin chart here while I yap a little bit. But yeah, we haven't had this sort of opportunity in a long time. So I definitely, we take the market. We take with the market what it gives us, right? There's that opportunity earlier on. There's some pullbacks. There's some losses that we experienced, but there's some W's too, right? Like there's a lot of W's, a lot of opportunities, and we haven't had that in a very, very long time. So really excited here. Got a wonderful show here for you guys. We'll go through a few things here before our first interview coming up at 12:30 p.m. Once we get our interviews done, afterward, we'll just chit chat for a little bit. Honestly, not too much to talk about today. I know that we have the new stable chain, I think it's called. I forget. New stable chain. We also have we have the new stable chain. There's a few things on Robinhood to pay attention to, and then a little bit of a thesis to share with you guys about MetaDAO. but not crazy amounts of things to share with you guys here today. But we have a rocking show. We have a great show lined up for you all. Let me actually pull up the schedule real quick, and then I can show you guys what we are getting into. Actually, before that, did you guys see the Jensen Huang tweet? I wanted to show that. As you guys see in the title, Jensen Huang, he actually made his debut here today on X. And what does he talk about? I'll read it. AI will transform every industry, power every company, and be built by every country. What did I tell you guys about yesterday? We talked about the AI NVIDIA pairing. Remember, long.xyz, ticker AI. Obviously, that's bullish AI. My question is, when does Jensen Huang realize that there's an AI token? There's an AI token out there that's paired with NVIDIA that could drive NVIDIA volume and even price action to a certain extent. Things will get crazy. Imagine this. Stocks are in a somewhat of a bear market, but due to these like RWA memes that are paired with stocks, could it drive enough volume to perhaps like mitigate some of the downside? Let's see. But interesting dynamics playing out here on chain. And as you see the title, the state of Robinhood on chain. Like I mentioned earlier, we got some W's. We were positioned early in Robinhood. We were on Robinhood. I personally was one of the first probably 160 people on Robinhood. Maybe I was like number 145 or something. But I was one of the ones that was going through sketchy bridges, trying to like bridge as much as possible on Robinhood. And I was telling you guys about it in mid-June. And I didn't want to talk about it too much because I didn't know if at the end of the day, some of that stuff was going to, I didn't know if, the bridges would last or get hacked or whatever. But again, the state of Robinhood on chain, we're there early. We caught some W's, ton of the memes under a couple 100K market cap, cash cat. We caught that below 100K. But then also, we had that pullback. We had some of the ecosystem kind of dipping down and coming up again. We have now tons of deployers coming to Robinhood chain. We see the sort of I don't want to call it PvP, but it seems like it, right? You have the RWA memes, the tokens paired with tokenized stocks, but you see multiple launch pads now rushing out to integrate that functionality into that feature into their launch pad. And we see a couple launch pads launching that. We covered the long.xyz thesis. We had the founder on our show as well. So the state of Robinhood on chain, we're pulling back, but at the end of the day, there's still a ton of opportunity. When you look at exactly what's forming, in terms of a narrative on Robinhood, there's still a ton of opportunity ahead of us. Tons. I mean, you can point to the number of users that they have that they can potentially onboard, but point to really what's being built on chain. RWA-Fi. We talked about the RWA memes. Obviously, Robinhood is pushing agentic trading, so there's several AI protocols, and there's so much more. So really excited ultimately to and optimistic. Really, like, no matter where you are, no matter if you've experienced L's, W's on Robinhood, be optimistic because there's far more opportunity ahead of us than behind us if you have a high enough time horizon. Not talking about next couple of days, next couple of weeks. I'm saying look at the next 12 to 24 months. We still have an entire bull market ahead of us. So there's tons of opportunity on Robinhood, despite locally having this sort of like pullback, which I think is coming to an end here over the next couple of days. All right. So guys, there's 160 people in here. You already know what we have to do. I don't even have to say it. 160 of us in here already, and we've only been live for a few minutes. Go to @MCG Live on Twitter. Go to @MCG Live. There's two things that you have to do. The first is go to @MCG Live on Twitter. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We highlight some of the most cracked builders in the space. We have captured almost every single narrative, going all the way back to ICM, Believe, MetaDAO, and coming all the way to now to Robinhood Chain. We covered all of these different narratives, and many times we're pretty early. And Robinhood was the Robinhood opportunity was one of the first examples of that. So if you like that, make sure you are following the account. Scroll down. We appreciate you guys. We were just looking at this on Tuesday, guys. This was just like 12.3K followers. Now we're over 13.1K. Like, appreciate the love and the support. Thank you guys so much for engaging and coming to watch the stream. But as you scroll down, just go to and maybe Josh, we can make this this tweet the pinned tweet. But go to our latest tweet, and I want you to do two things on this tweet. I want you to like. And let me actually refresh this page real quick. We might have just made it the pinned tweet. Yeah, we did. So as you can see here, pinned tweet. Just scroll down, hit like, and hit RT. And you know what? Just to do something a little extra, I'm gonna light an RT the direct instance of the stream as well. Just do them both. Why not? As you can see, scheduled today, we have our first interview coming up here in the next couple of minutes. We have Worker Dev coming on. They're building AI agents. The Vibe Ops computer, their Twitter says, one real cloud machine where your AI builds, runs, and ships the whole app. So excited to talk about them. We see this huge wave of AI innovation coming to the space. So excited to kind of get an idea of exactly what angle they're coming from. There's a lot of projects and protocols playing in this arena. So excited to see how they're competing on that side. That one was a recent launch on Robinhood, if I'm remembering correctly. The next one we have is Squeeze.Run, fair launch launchpad on Robinhood, Solana, and Base. So I think this is the first multi-chain launchpad I've seen. A lot of the launchpads have been local to the particular ecosystem, right? We've seen the Solana launchpad wars. Now we're seeing the Robinhood launchpad wars. So excited to dig in to them, to dig into their protocol, not into them, into their protocol, to see exactly how they're innovating. So really good interviews lined up today. It's going to be a nice little stream for you guys. Last thing I kind of want to share with you all while we make our way to our next interview here. Man, have you guys seen the amount of volume for tokenized stocks on Robinhood? My goodness. You have GameStop, Nvidia, SpaceX, Apple, Google, Intel, all pretty much like $1 million market cap or over in terms of volume. Then you have Tesla, Microsoft, Micron, and Microsoft, Coinbase, Palantir, all above 500,000 in daily volume on Uniswap. This is all being driven by meme coins. So it's not degens just degenning anymore, tossing their money into just like, worthless meme coins. These meme coins now on Robinhood are driving real world value. They're driving adoption of tokenized stocks. That is a crazy paradigm shift, if you will, a new market primitive at the very least. So there's a ton going on there. So again, just kind of like paying attention to exactly what we have, exactly what we're seeing on chain, because again, this setup is unlike anything that we've seen before. Keep in mind, when you have a time horizon beyond, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, when you're looking at the next 12, 24 months, and we're already seeing these early signs, it makes me absolutely positively bullish. Last thing that I'll touch on here, guys, before we get to our first interview, is just a quick BTC update. As you can see in the title, we do have a market update for you guys. We kind of shared our overall thesis here earlier this week, and basically it's been playing out. You can see my crude drawing here on the Bitcoin chart. We talked about Bitcoin rising up, going into this fair value gap earlier on this week. And ideally, I would have loved to see us grab at that liquidity above 67K. But I told you guys that I was cautious. And why was I cautious? Because we're moving into a clear area of resistance. I'm not putting the chance of a liquidity sweep at zero yet. But at the very least, I told you guys like, hey, this could be a kind of a top on. We talked about, Robinhood, there being a sort of a local top on the ecosystem as well. And that's due to, all of these overall kind of major factors. We saw how, Robinhood got integrated with Phantom and, the Vlad scam meme coin. We saw all these things come out. And in addition to this price action with BTC, it just kind of indicates a local top. So what's the expectation now for Bitcoin? Well, you see it clearly marked out on the chart. If we actually go to the 3-day, you can actually see this a little bit more clearly. And maybe I just do this here real quick. So basically what you're seeing here is a liquidity sweep. That's essentially what we're shooting for on the bottom. We shot for a liquidity sweep at the top. Again, not a non-zero chance, and not a zero chance. But at the end of the day, we look like we're rejecting off of this level. So the next target for me, whether we hit the liquidity sweep above 67K or not, will be a liquidity sweep below. And this is where I think we go deeper into the 50s. So maybe 55K. We get all of the targets for lower, right? People will call for 50, 45, 40K, what have you. And then we just literally leave everyone behind. This has been the August bottom has been a thesis since April. And we have slowly seen it start to play out. All right. So that's a little bit of the pre-interview stuff I wanted to cover with you guys. Setup is pretty massive. I think now is the time to start kind of paying attention to different opportunities in the market that we're seeing, whether that be from an on-chain perspective, from a majors perspective. We obviously have to think about the end of a bear market versus the beginning, right? So there's a sort of a difference in the way that we have to think. And that's why we love interviewing cracked founders. That's why we love interviewing these builders in the space to highlight the ones that are actually doing something and could actually achieve something in this next upcoming bull market. So with that in mind, as we go into this agentic future, let's go ahead and bring up the worker dev. We have our first interview here. He's been patiently waiting in the waiting room. So let's go ahead and bring him up. And we'll get the lowdown on worker dev. Maddie, how are you? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been waiting and I've been very excited to join here. I'm good. How are you? And
doing well. Doing well. It's good to have you on stream, man. There's so much to talk about here. I mean, I want to get through all of it today. I want to talk about your background, your experience with the virtuals team, why you're choosing Robinhood, what you guys are building, the technology, what you're doing different. There's so much to dive into here. So Maddie, maybe we start with yourself. Who are you? What's your background? So we can get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So I will show my own doxing. So you can go to any, just a sec, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, sure. Whenever you're ready to share, you can hit the plus button on the bottom there. And I can always share it for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we see your screen. I can go ahead and pull that up here whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
Perfect. All right, here we are.
Yeah, so you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so about myself, so check out in Grok or ChatGPT anywhere with this prompt like, can you list the winners of DST Lockheed Martin India Innovation Program 2014? So you will get my name, which is this low cost solar concentrator. This is me, G Madan Mohan Reddy. So I've been entrepreneur, I've been an innovator, So since 15 years, I've been my own doing innovations across engineering. And for the past 3 years, I've been in AI. So we have been working on developing Telegram bots. So honestly, about myself, earlier I was into mechanical engineering design background. And then after this, vibe coding has come in with the advent of Cloud Code and Codex. So in the beginning, I was vibe coder. So I used to pick up Supabase, Vercel, all these third-party stack, and we used to use Zapier. These are low code solutions. See, honestly, I'm not a coder in terms of a programmer. I'm a vibe coder. So I used to pick up third party stack, all subscriptions. Like for example, this guy today, he has shared this. So he's running a Postbridge. It's a social media management. So he's using Supabase for his full stack app. He's using Vercel, all these things. So that's how we started our journey also. So we picked up these low code solutions, third party stack, and we used to develop Telegram bots, image generation bots, and all. Then we realized last year December, when this Opus 4.5 has come in, then we understood, honestly, the coding agents have reached to that extent. You don't need those third party stack. What you need is a Linux or a cloud. You just need a cloud, and you run these coding agents inside the cloud, so you get everything done. You don't need this third party stack. But the problem, what happened was, me being a vibe coder, I'm scared of terminal, like programming code and all. If I see those in the terminal, so I get scared. And these cloud servers and all, we used to have this terminal SSH and all these things. So I was very scared to see that. So I was thinking of, why not we provide a desktop interface to the cloud? I'll give you a small analogy here. Before 1984, this Macintosh has come in. So the whole computers were more like terminal command prompts and all these things. And in 1984, Macintosh has introduced a mouse and a desktop streaming. So it has provided vision to the workstation. So because of that, you don't need to know programming. You just need to know, a lot of non-coding guys entered into the space. Even now, if you see the Claude or Codex, I run those in my local MacBook, and I'll say, okay, Claude, build me a image generation service. So it will build. But if I want to deploy it as a full stack app for someone, if I want to serve that app, then running it in my local MacBook is not sufficient. It has to be deployed in the cloud. Again, cloud has no vision. It's all terminal language. So I want that vision to be provided to the cloud. So that's the reason we have built this desktop streaming to the cloud, so that you don't see a difference between running Claude inside your MacBook or inside the cloud. I'll give you a small example here.
Real quick, before we I wanted to just slow the pace here real quick. So just to run everything back, just so the audience can have context. So you have a really good resume. You have a great background in building. You're a vibe coder. You've seen kind of where the gap in the market is. And so what you've now done is kind of created sort of like a platform for non-tech, kind of like the non-tech native devs. Like so what you're saying is there's a demographic of tech native devs, builders that are very familiar and comfortable with things like terminals, Linux, and all these other things. And what you've done is now kind of abstracted some of that away and created something for those who might be intimidated by kind of the coding heavy side of things. Am I getting that correct?
Yes, the focus is on the vibe coders.
Okay.
So vibe coders play with these coding agents using prompts.
Got it. Okay. So, and one question I wanted to ask before we get to that next thing that you were about to show, that contest that you shared with us earlier back in 2014, remind me of what that was. I wanted to make sure I get this part right for the end of the interview.
Yeah. So that's basically generating solar steam from sun for boiler. It's basically a solar boiler. So I was selected as a top innovator from Lockheed Martin. So I was in Stanford, I was in Silicon Valley. So on behalf of Lockheed Martin, they trained on entrepreneurship. So that's basically a solar boiler for steam for heat applications. It's
Got it.
core engineering.
Got it. Okay. So that catches us all up. I wanted to make sure I circle back on that Lockheed Martin part because I feel like that's a very important detail. I like builders with a background with a good resume, right? And so and you fit that bill, as well. So now you were talking to us about kind of what set you guys apart, how you're focusing on vibe coders, and you were about to show us something. So let's go ahead and continue on with that part of the discussion.
Yeah. So I'll show you a simple example of this guy. He's a vibe coder. He's running a full stack app, and in order to run this app, he has taken plans like Supabase, and he is incurring almost this much of bills. Vercel for the front end, this for the back end processes, and these for the API key major. So basically, in order to run one app, he has taken all these plan subscriptions, and he's a vibe coder. He is not into technical guy. So what we are doing is we're removing all that. If you have this Linux with coding agents inside and you provide vision to it so that you can see just like how you're running in your local MacBook, if you get that feel, then you get all your work. You don't need all these subscriptions. It's almost, to run a full stack app, you need almost 20 paid plans for different purposes, like for authentication, for database, for storage. So you have different services for each application, for each service. But the Claude, the codecs, the coding harnesses have been developed to that extent. If you have the Linux, it will build everything. You don't need third-party stack. So in order to make this easy for the vibe coders, what we have done is, so for example, you just go and log in inside.
Got it. So we're logging in.
Yeah, so I'm going in. So we have a government access browser, and we have built even Mac OS desktop app. So here, this is inside the cloud. So this is just like how you're working inside, I mean, in your own local MacBook. You can run, for example, you can run, for example, the same subscription plans. Just a sec, I'll open this. Yeah. You can run Claude, you can run Codex, whatever subscription plans you have, you can run. This is exactly same as you're working in your own MacBook. Only difference is as you are running it in cloud. So the deployment, all these things happen in a snap. So I'll open this in. So I have already built one app for showing it. So this is a full stack app I have built for showing in this stream. So it's basically a paper trading app. So
how long did this take you to build, out of curiosity?
Yeah. So I'll minimize it. So I have opened Cloud Code or Codex inside VM. This is a cloud. So I have given input, like for example, so this is this, right? So I want to change this into, for example, I mean a quick one, red theme, for example, let's say. So I'll say I've opened this coding, like I have opened this Codex inside cloud, and I'm just saying, can you make the color theme instead of white, make it in reddish? And we are actually streaming, so I don't want to spend too much of time. This is just to demonstrate how it works. So just make a quick one. So how you run, see, there is a big difference here. Every app has two parts. One is the build part and then the ship part. In the build part, you can run on your own local MacBook, but to ship, it needs to be deployed on the cloud. So there the problem comes. So second is, I mean, because of this coding agents, why coding is being covered, you can easily build any kind of app. But once it is deployed inside cloud, then the operations come, like when your app is being used by a lot of people, then operating that, like you will be facing a lot of bugs. So that's the reason building is only 10%, I call it as, but DevOps operating is 90% of the headache here. So now because of the cloud, you can actually see, for example, here, see this is I'm running it in cloud. So this is just like I am doing in my own local MacBook. So you don't need any technical expertise here, because you are running, I mean, the visual is just like you are seeing the desktop here. So, and you are running these coding plans inside. So if, let's say, if any bug happened, you will simply open your coding plan, Codex or Claude, whatever. You will say that, hey, I am facing some issue here. Can you, at this particular time, can you check the debug? Can you check the logs? And then can you identify and can you resolve it? Then it will do it on its own, because of, in normal case here, if you see, this guy is using these many plans. So for database, if there is any bug happen, the coding agent has to go through this super base plan inside, I mean the logs and all. For the front end Vercel, it has to go. So it's, you have external 4 to 5 vendors here, and this debugging has to happen from externally from 4 to 5. But whereas here everything is inside happening. Yeah, it has already done. Okay.
So real quick, let
Have
me
you-
just
have you
walk this
definitely-
back.
Yeah.
Let me just walk this back for the audience. I want to make sure that the audience is keeping up with the discussion, and it helps me as well to kind of review where we are. So what you're saying is you have vibe coders out there that are using 4 to 5 or even more vendors to build things. And what you're saying is, and what you're saying is, not only is there a build phase, there's also a shipping phase. So there's where you build it, but then there's DevOps involved that, you know, requires fixing bugs. It requires, you know, tweaking different things. And the innovation, or the part that where you guys come in, is you're able to kind of do all of this in one unified platform. Now, my question to you is, are you replacing the cost of each of these different
yes, services?
Like that? Yeah, so you're like, I saw the guy, he was using Vercel. He needed to tap into the X API. Like, are you guys replacing all of these different costs with one unified with this? Okay, very nice. So you're providing one you're providing one platform to replace not only cost, but also the manual aspect of coding and hopping in between all of these different venues.
Yes.
Okay,
see here,
got it.
It has already updated, and I am running this in local MacBook, and I am running the coding process in the cloud. So you can see it's been updated already.
So for all the non-coders out there, just to understand how you're innovating and how you're closing that gap, if it wasn't for the cloud, how would a normal developer, how would they have to deploy this?
They have to take Amazon AWS servers or any other third digital ocean. So there are many companies who provide cloud. Even Cloudflare provides cloud. So all these are terminal based. They just give you a cloud Linux system, and there is no interface behind. So you don't see this desktop, you don't see anything. It's only the terminal part.
Got it. So without
I want to add a few more points here. It's not just only the display that we are providing. It's also inside we are providing database, authentication, storage, backup, all, even the domain, email sending, all the primitives that are required for any standard app. For example, if you want to deploy an app, ship an app, so it needs authentication, like sign up, sign in. It needs to send emails. It needs to deploy on your own domain. It needs to have backup and storage. All these primitives that are common for any app, you get all by native.
So you have this unified platform where you can build and ship an app or a website or a product and it comes with all of the necessary kind of like basic tools that you'll need, email signups, all these different parts of a website or an app that anyone would expect to have. And after it's shipped, this is my question. Do you guys provide like is there a way that I can spin up an agent through your platform, or do I have to bring in another agent to then,
No,
debug and do all these other things?
you can absolutely spin up thousands of agents in a single system, thousands of agents, each agent doing different work. So you can easily do right now, if you just open another like for example codex, and then you just say whatever you want just here, it will build you everything. And if you want that agent to be deployed on, let's say if you have your own domain, it will deploy there. Like those kind of agents you can spin up as many as possible. And this, because this is cloud, it's 24/7 it runs. So doesn't matter whether you close your laptop or anything, it keeps on running forever.
Wow. So just like you were talking earlier you spoke and you said, hey, make the website a little red. And you went back to the website after like a minute or two and it was red. It made all the changes. So just like you could like kind of speak to, you can do voice to text. Can you just say, hey, look, I need a to deploy an agent to, make sure my app, to fix the bugs in my app. It's been shipped. Can you just like say that and it'll spin up an agent for you?
Actually, I did not get the requirement, because here this is an app here. So
Mm-hmm.
what is the purpose of the agent that you're asking? Because I want to just understand.
Yeah. So in this case, this is a website that you built, but let's say there was like
No,
an
this is
app
not a
that I
website.
built.
This is an app. This is an actually app. You can actually do the trading. For example, here assistant.
Oh, wow.
So you have a fully working system. For example, let's say, can you get me the live price of WRKR token?
How long did it take you to make this app?
It's not more than how much, one day. Yesterday I started, and in parallel I have been working on my own project, I mean the worker project, and other things also. So you can say 20% of my focus has been gone here. See, it has given this, right? I'll just check like screener. Yeah, it's 223, sorry, yeah, 22 something, right? You can see.
Nice. Nice. So it's
And
accurate.
this is all paper trading I have. I mean, this is a fully working app. It's not a website. I'll say, can you tell me how much is a balance? So I just made a multiplayer paper trading game. So I have this 985. Upon sign up, you get $1,000, and you can play with that. Like for example, can you buy 50% of those tokens with? I'm not calling worker because it will take WORKER. So that's the
Right.
reason.
No, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
it has taken. I mean, it's not on chain because it's a paper trading, but you can easily connect the blockchain here, and then you can get the actual transactions to happen. Because I wanted to make it fun. Don't get into securities and all. That's the reason I've done this. And you have discover. You can get, these are all real time. This is actively happening at the back end. These are all, I got it from Pump Fund. You can go inside, and then you can say research. It goes to, you have a research section here. So you can even build strategy. So you can say, and even here you're talking about agent, right? So I'll come to this point here. I have already made one agent here. Like for example, you can have automation. You can say whatever you want. So it's basically a trading automation, like 1 minute, let's say. So swing trade, so on and so on. So you just activate it, then it will take, because it's 24/7 cloud is running. So normally in a local systems, local only thing, when you close, the moment you close your MacBook, the whole system goes off. But here the whole system is being run from the, served from the cloud. So there is no on off kind of a thing. It keeps on. See, it has already started the timer. So all this, the whole intention of building this app is not to show the app as such. For example, in this you have a for example, I'll go out. You have uh, sign up, sign in, you get actual mail to Gmail or whatever from the domain. So you have email and as well as sign up, sign in is covered. And once you log in, so you have Twitter posting, and to make all this to happen, it needs to have, one is database at the back end, storage at the back end, because this is not one time chart. You can see this is continuously going on. So whenever you switch off and then you come back, all this is being recovered, retrieved. So which means there is a database being saved. For example, this part, for what he is paying database to storage, $860 only for this part, this is being covered here. So all this, and I am not taking any paid plan other than this cloud and Claude or Codex. That is common. This Claude or Codex, that plan is common no matter what. But the third party stack, you are not subscribing. Let me tell you, I am the customer. I am the first customer of my own product. I also started with taking all these Superbase, Wetzel, all these things. But the moment I started using my own worker, the first thing I did was I terminated all the paid plans. It was almost $800. See, one more biggest problem is not just a deploying part. For example, for a vibe coder, even to ship a product, ship an app, all this stack you need to prepay. Doesn't matter whether you are actually deployed for users or not. The moment you want to build, you need to take all these plan subscriptions. So the moment you start, the bill starts, $750 around the bill starts. So but in this case, you don't actually need to maintain. And another thing, it's not just the cost, you need to handle that many plans. When my subscription is going out, and if any issue happens, I need to identify logs of every API key. And another thing, the privacy part, the data leak part. See, here it's only one area. The cloud is only one. But in the other case, let's say you are using 15 or let's say 10 third-party vendors. So the rate of leak, the leak rate is much higher because your data is being scattered around among 10 different external service providers. And another thing is, in these 10 service providers, even if one service provider goes down, your app would not be working. But here it's only one. So the point of failure has been reduced. The point of the ease has been increased. The cost has been reduced. And the mental context load has been reduced again. And you don't need, see, if you're working in your local system and if you want to copy into here, it's just like, for example, I'll just show you. So I'll just say Command C and then Command V. You see? So there is absolutely no difference between you are running the cloud because you feel so native. So that's a user experience you have. So which means the learning curve is almost zero. And one more biggest advantage with this is, let's say you are at the moment, let's say this guy is running all these things, right? He has his own repo. So if he wants to switch over to our thing, he just open up Claude or Codex, whatever, and he will provide his repo, his project code into here. It will deploy on its own. You don't even have to do any export, import, all this kind of technical business.
Got it. Got it. So let me sum this part up. Just to make sure that I'm understanding it, making sure that the audience is also kind of understanding things as well. So basically, you've provided this environment for vibe coders where the barrier to entry is literally low. I actually tried to ship a bot the other day. It was like a couple weeks ago. I wanted to make an arbitrage bot for this ecosystem, and I realized, I was like, man, like the bot, it didn't take me too long. I used some like open source tech, some open source code. I plugged it in. It took me about an hour to go from like putting the code into Claude Code and then actually like building a complete bot. But then it came to shipping it, and I realized, dang, when I shut off my computer, this bot will stop. So I have to keep this computer up. So I'm understanding that through this cloud service, you're able to like host everything that you need to that a vibe coder may need to not only build but actually deploy a certain app, website, or product whatever it is that they're building, keep that running. And you're providing all of the infrastructure for that on the back end while reducing sort of how much they're intimidated by what they're doing, and also reducing the friction from everything that I'm understanding. Now, here's my question as well. What's the cost? Like, how much do I need to pay to like get this up and running, and how
Yeah.
long would it take?
So in your case, I'll give you a small example. So the kind of cloud that we are providing, it's a 16 GB RAM cloud. So you can actually deploy. See, here in your case, agent running for yourself is different, and a building agent for serving to thousands of people is different. So we are talking about the second category. So let's say you have built the bot and you want to serve, let's say at a time 10,000 users or players with your bot. So then our product comes into the second category. So we are coming up with $199 per month plan. So with that, you can deploy almost 10,000 of agents that you are thinking of. I mean, whatever agent you came up, you can easily run 10,000, more than 10,000 agents inside it.
Wow. And how are you guys taking care of inference costs? I mean, there's got to be a cost to all this back end, for you guys. What's the cost looking like for you? I mean, you're reducing that for builders so much, but how are you reducing that? Are you reducing that for yourselves? How does that work?
Yeah. So there are two costs here. One is the inference cost, which is you're talking about, I think, LLM cost, right? So that we are not putting our finger inside. So we are providing only the infra to run your app. So other than the LLM API cost will be whatever you pay, because it will be your keys. We are not touching inside. So we are providing a fully packaged, let's say, hotel or something, and fully furnished house, let's say, and you occupy that house and you fill that house with whatever you want to.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about, we're coming up on, we got about like 10 minutes left or so. Let's talk about token. How does the token play a role in all of this? Is it like a payment layer? Tell me a little bit more about the utility there.
Yeah, it's a payment layer for our subscriptions, because it's all revenue based, right? So we have a discounted if you pay using worker token, and also you have a priority slots. So all these we are using it as a loyalty kind of a subscription based for the token.
Got it. Okay, nice. So token is a sort of payment layer.
Layer, yes.
Tell me.
And also, I want to add another thing here. As the whole space we are targeting is not limited only to the Web3, but the major space is for the Web2. So we have already started incorporating a company in US, so that we get a Stripe payment. So we are going properly, company incorporation, getting the bank accounts and getting the Stripe payments, because fiat payment is very important to tap the Web2 space.
Got it. Okay, sounds good. So you're reaching into Web3, reaching into Web2 as well. Tell me about traction, users to date, numbers of agents on your platform, numbers of subscribers, revenue that you've generated so far. What's the traction on your platform?
We are still in the start stage. So we have, I think a week ago we have launched, and the beta product, fully working beta product. I want to share another thing here. I will share the credentials of one slot with you. So whatever agent you have built yesterday, so in your own system, you just copy that to our cloud, so you can easily deploy. So that becomes one of our first beta users in your case. So we are still at the start state. So we are picking up. So that's the reason first we are streaming live how to build and all to create awareness. And also we have opened calls for vibe coders. So for testing our product, it's more like a beta thing. So it's like we are still in a start stage. But the product side, we have been working on the technical side, the development side for the past 6 months. So that's the reason we have, before token launch, we have the working product.
Got it. That's good. That's good that you guys actually launched with a working product. At what point does it go from 0 to 1 for you guys? Like talk to me about the roadmap. You know, at what point do you kind of flip the switch on and you actually start targeting users? Where are these users at? Are you looking at kind of onboarding like Web3 native vibe coders first and then move to Web2? Like, talk to me about the user base, who you're looking to onboard and how you'll onboard them.
Yeah, so we are tying up with this Jack Freaks and all the other indie hackers, so who are developing these apps by using vibe coding. So we are initially targeting them, and we are using that as for the beta testing. We have almost 25 slots left. I mean, we have built 25 users. We are looking for 25 users, and with that 25 users, we want to test the beta, so that whatever bugs and all, whatever optimization that needs to be done much further, so we will be doing with those 25 pilot scale. And then we will be, in the meanwhile, we will be done with incorporation, fiat payment integration, Stripe and all these things. So then we slowly move it to enterprises, like the real developer community.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I think we went through quite a bit here today. And it's been a fascinating conversation so far. And I want to start to get to, as we wrap, some kind of higher level thoughts here. Talk to me about vibe coding. I mean, a little bit about the TAM. You know, how big is of a trend is vibe coding? We've obviously seen a lot of it. Do you feel like, I guess before we get to TAM, before we talk about that, the first question I had, a lot of people have this sort of idea that vibe coders, if something is vibe coded, then it's not legit, right? Like it's just AI slop. What would be your response to that?
No, that's a skill issue. So, honestly, that's a skill
I
issue.
love that.
There's nothing to do with vibe coding. It depends on who. See, here AI by itself is nothing, but the human with AI is everything. So it all depends on the skill of the person.
Got it. So low skill input is going to equal low skill output, no matter what AI you put in front of them. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So talk to me about the TAM, vibe coding in general. How big of a market is that, and how do you guys plan to capture that market?
See, I will not call it as vibe coding, honestly, because see, if you properly direct AI, there is absolutely no limit in terms of building what you want to. Well, see, Opus, all this, I mean, the recent models that we have in our hand, with a proper roadmap, with a proper planning, there is absolutely no limit. You can build any high secure. See, we have been seeing yesterday, OpenAI latest model has hacked this, and recently Fable has hacked that. So, which means they are highly capable. It all depends on the person who is working with AI. And this vibe coded apps or slop, that was last year, but not now. And another big thing is, with the time, every month you get a better AI model, so which means you have more power here, and the vision is here. So if you have a proper vision with the help of these AI models, see, another thing is 100% AI cannot do. Even if I say, like, for example, image generation bot, it's a simple thing. If I say just make an image generation bot, that's the command. If I give, then it gives me slop. You have to interact with it. You have to make it understand, no, I don't want this, I want this, and you get the best and best. So no matter how complicated the application you want to build, you have to break down into pieces, and then at every layer you have to build not just code but also test. You need to build test. Whatever code is being built, you need to also build bench tests, so that you verify at every level what it's been building. So without those tests, it's slop. But with a proper test at every layer, it gets validated every time. And you use multiple models, one as a supervisor and one as a worker. So this work, I mean, workers' work will be audited by supervisor, so that you mix match all these models. Then vibe coding is like, I mean, recently it's been shifted as vibe engineering. It's no more vibe coding. So which means you can build any damn thing here.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. I mean, it sounds like you guys are lowering the barrier of entry for, really anyone that wants to build something, and it's amazing to see. Tell me about, I know you guys recently launched. Talk to me about your experience and your relationship with the virtuals team. Number one, why virtuals as a launch pad? And then I have a why Robinhood question to follow up.
Yeah. So virtuals, the reason why we picked virtuals before Robinhood, we were, in a state like whether it's base or Robinhood, but the decision to launch on virtuals was pre-decided for the fact that we are into utility. So Solana is out of question. So the utility is, see, virtuals has been launched with a vision of converting this agentic space into tokenization. So that's a straightforward decision. There was no, not even, this or that kind of a thing. And then when we interacted with virtuals team was very, very supportive. So they came up with why not this, why not that. We had a good discussion. Unfortunately, at this time, Robinhood, the chain, the meta has come in, and there is a lot of future for the Robinhood in terms of they have a big exposure in US market and one of the largest stock exchanges and all the retail players they are. So that gives a lot of option to bring web 2 into web 3. So that's the biggest mechanism. So that's the reason the virtuals and the Robinhood we chose.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, it's been an absolutely amazing interview here. I really like what you guys are building. I myself have, tried to kind of venture into the builder side, building things for MCG and whatnot. So I was really interested in finding out more about your platform, and potentially you might find me as a user at some point. So we really appreciate you.
I'll give a small use case. See, when I started this project last Saturday, that was my first ever broadcasting or stream I did in my life. So it was almost 1 hour. So then I faced like many people asked, why not you make short clips out of that? So we built an app for that. You just give 1 hour video to the app. It will cut out, it will chop into the reels, Instagram reels or shorts in a proper sense manner. It's not just your video being chopped, but it's like third party being explaining what you have explained. So I'll share that app also. So it will be very useful because you day in day out you stream. You just share the link to that app. It will break down. Now I think you are writing summary like this much to this much. You are writing in text. So we will create with this app. You can actually break down. You can build Instagram like YouTube Shorts or something, and that's completely been built and deployed from the worker. Can you hear me?
Oh, actually, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, we can hear you. We actually heard you just fine. I was talking, but I was on mute. But we actually had a community question come in. This is going to be our last question as we wrap. But I thought it was a really good, important one to highlight. Do you guys plan to integrate or partner with any other platforms?
Actually, I'm not clear about, but we are open provided what is that other platform. See, we love to collaborate and we work with the developers across platforms and all. So we are open to partner with anything. In terms of, we need to understand what is that integration or other platforms and all, but we are open for that.
Got it. I guess just as an idea for you, that Crypto Jones here says, I could see you guys integrating with an inference compute platform like UsePod to have easy all-in-one, have an easy all-in-one solution, like,
Definitely.
buying and selling inference.
Integration is very simple. Inside our cloud, instead of you run Codex or Claude, so you use these API keys of these inferences from UsePod, so it will be done.
Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I think it's been an absolutely amazing interview, Maddie. So we really appreciate you dropping in to the stream here today. Any last little, maybe a vision or something to leave the community with, but it's been an amazing chat, and we appreciate you pulling through.
Yeah. So to summarize, I'll say one thing. In the Robinhood, you see, or in Base or Solana, everything is being called as agent. There are a lot of projects. Every day they launch like agent. But in our case, I think we are very few. We are one of the very few projects. We are not launching agents, but we are launching factory. so that you can launch any number of agents inside. So there is a big difference here. So we are into infra. Because of this, I can say almost 90% of whatever is being launched across, you can easily, in a span of less than a day, you can build and deploy. You can show, you just share the roadmap of any project that's been launched inside here. You get a fully working system.
Got it. Excellent. Excellent. Well, Maddie, we appreciate you. Wishing you all the best as you guys continue to build out worker.dev. But we would love to have you guys back on, especially as you get to that point where you're onboarding users and you guys are growing and getting more traction. Definitely would love to have you guys on to see how things have developed.
Sure. Thank you so much for making this to happen. I'm really happy, and I would be sharing the box credentials also, so that you can also test your agents deployment, all these things as well, and share the feedback.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maddie. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
All righty. Till next time. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bang, bang. The boy Josh is in the building.
Yo.
Dude, I love that interview. I gotta say, guys, I'm trying to like get into my vibe coding arc at some point. And I really like what I've seen is like what I like to do is kind of test some of these trends. And if I can't use them, then I know it's not like super user friendly yet. Because I'm a smooth brain, okay? And so if I can't use it, I know many people can't. I'm competent, but you know, there's a only up until a certain point. It's like, nah, that's too hard. I'm gonna wait for another solution. I think this is kind of that solution that can like lower that barrier of entry so much where it could actually onboard a ton of users. So really, really enjoyed that interview, Daddy Duster. Dude, you're stupid. Thanks for translating. Chill. Felt like I was drunk there for a bit. Also, I had to, you know what? I see his passion. He was super excited. He's very passionate about what he's building. And so like some of these founders, like they just come on and they just want to tell you everything right now. We want to tell you everything. And it's like, no. Let's break it up a little bit. Let's make sure, everyone's kind of understanding what's being said. Yeah. So I tried to do that a little bit here on this on this interview. We have our next interview coming up with squeeze.fun. Crypto, I saw your comment earlier. IDK about multi-chain launchers got to first be able to handle one. I actually like I understand where you're coming from, right? Like my concern with multi-chain launchers is mainly just the how can I say, the security. That, with multi-chain launch pads, what's the mechanism tying all of these different assets together, making sure that they're all priced the same way, etc. And we have the squeeze.fun guys in the waiting room. I think Anand might be having some trouble. So just FYI, guys, just ping us in the private chat whenever you guys are ready. Josh can also answer questions if you guys have any. But just to get back to your comment there, Crypto, while we get the squeeze.fun guys ready, I think it's a really good idea to reach at multiple chains rather than one. I've seen this. It's called PVE.win. I've seen this this solution where you can kind of like tie all these tie different tokens to one narrative, because I feel like on different chains, if you only have one chain and you deploy on one chain, like you can just essentially get PvP'd from a different chain, right? Like we've seen this happen on when Solana was hot, but then BNB had a little BNB season, and there were two tokens that were the same ticker, but they were both launched from different launch pads, and it was just like PvPing, right? So I kind of like the aspect of a multi-chain launch pad. I've actually been waiting for one to come out for a while. But, so many different things happen with these launch pads. There's a trust factor from the team that you need to, that needs to be there for the community side. There's obviously the adoption factor, making sure there are traders. And then there's also the adoption factor from the deployer side as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting, that's an interesting problem to have. I'm interested to see like what type of solution the Squeeze.Fund guys have. But I think it is a net positive to have a multi-chain launchpad, and just deploy it and let the community decide, whether it's used on one chain, on all chains. But it really helps to include all of the volume, right? And imagine now on Robinhood, if you had this launch pad that something can be launched on Robinhood, but it can also be launched on Solana at the same time. I think it's just a matter of like liquidity.
That'd be
But
great because, I'd like to provide liquidity to CashCat, and LP some
Fact.
of these things. So,
fact.
yeah.
Are the our friends our Squeeze.Fund friends ready?
I think so. We're gonna bring them up, do a little mic check situation here. All set, they said. All right, let's do it.
Perfect. Gentlemen, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having us.
Doing well, of course. Glad to have you guys. Good to get you on. I think what you guys are building is really interesting. So excited to dig into everything, dig into your background, what you're building with your platform, how you get from 0 to 1, all the good stuff. But before we even, get to all the product side, we'd love to just get to know you guys. So we have Crack Dev, we have Anon. Maybe we start with Anon. Kind of talk to us about your background, and maybe just tell us kind of the lore that all led to Squeeze.Run.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in crypto now for almost 6 years. I found my way in through NFTs with NBA Top Shot. I minted Bored Apes. I did the whole WAGME NFT thing. I was at one point, up 7 figures on NFTs. I aligned with some different projects and helped them go to market. I was advising, several different artists internationally. And then I actually attempted to launch my own project, an incubator of sorts with a content strategy to go along with it. And I was humbled. I was definitely humbled. I was a little manic. It was the first time I had ever been up so much. And, the industry definitely humbled me. And so it was back to the drawing board. The following couple of years, more of go-to-market strategy, marketing, and, advising different projects, different startups. But I never quite found the right home. A lot of things in this space never end up launching, and all of the promises, right? Kind of like vanish into thin air when when it comes time to like execute, right? And so ultimately, NFT started to die down, and I buried my head down in the trenches. I started a call channel on Telegram. I had a group chat. I had a private chat. And all of a sudden, I was definitely making a reputation for myself once again. Like I was already seen as, at the top of my game when it came to NFTs. Very similar was happening with meme coins. However, the people around me were making lots of money because they were farming all of my calls and alpha and my network. And I came to a point where I was like, okay, the culture is shifting, and what worked last cycle may not necessarily work this cycle. Adapt or die, right? And so I tried it, right? Like I tried to become a little bit more of a cutthroat trader, and I'm just not very good at it. And I can admit that. I can admit my strengths. I can admit my weaknesses. I believe too hard, right? Like I'm way too emotional, way too passionate, way too convicted on things. I mean, I've been holding some of my NFTs now for over 3-4 years, right? I minted Bored Apes. I got out of Bored Apes, and I'm back in again, with one that I plan on holding forever. And so I am a believer. It's just who I am at my core. And I do really well with community and networking, and just kind of, wearing my heart on my sleeve, speaking my truth. And I think people see me as like a voice of the people, right? I have a large following, but I'm not your typical KOL. I'm not out there trying to max extract the way that some of them are. And so ultimately, right, this Dev and I, we met several years ago, just in the trenches, doing the meme coin thing. And I wanted to support them because we got to know each other more on a personal level. And I just know that they have great intentions for the space. They have, the right, not only do they have the right character and integrity, but they also have the experience and, the accolades to support that. And so I was like, yes, this is someone that I want to align with. This is someone that still thinks in, when the culture was a little bit more moderate, a little bit more, we're all in this together. We're all in this discovery process. We're not out here trying to scheme. We're not out here trying to, tear others down or take advantage or, leverage our influence against the rest of the space. And so ultimately, we had our experiences together, quote unquote, in the trenches. And I knew that they were in the process of trying to change the game, that they were in the process of trying to make things more fair, more equitable, more transparent, right? And bring back that, community driven experience that you really are strength in numbers, right? And that it doesn't have to be this clout chasing, KOL plagued type of culture. I think that it's not too late to reverse that. It's not too late to forge new paths and to, demonstrate, lead by example that you can still grow grassroots organically and come out ahead, right? So that's what led to me aligning with Squeeze here over the past month or so. And yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to be able to do what I do best, which is not trade. In fact, I make it very, and we'll talk more about it, but I make it a point to let everyone know I do not trade off of the Squeeze Launchpad. I refuse to, because one, I don't want that conflict of interest, and two, because it's just going to be a distraction for me, right? I want to be the biggest cheerleader, the biggest, team player. I am here for the community to thrive and to come together around fun experiences, fun memes, and other cool ideas and projects. So that's what that's what I'm good at, and that's what I'm here to do.
I got a quick question for you before we get to CrackDev's background. What do you think changed? I mean, you mentioned that we've all kind of noticed this change in the space, right? Like it used to be this this kind of kumbaya community focus. We're all in it together, like you mentioned, and it used to even also be like you can believe in something, but we've seen that what you oftentimes nowadays kind of get punished for that belief. Like, what do you think changed?
So I would say if you go back to even before I started in crypto, the original meme coin cycle, there were only a handful of things to choose from that stood out, that had the right attributes, the right recipe for longevity, sustainability, and ultimately success. And I think that with the introduction of some of the launch pads that have preceded us, that there has been this unfortunate, saturation of the market where it becomes that much more challenging to hold people's attention and to get them convicted on something when there's a new shiny toy, instead of it being, every week, every couple of weeks, it's every 5 minutes, right? And so when I say forge new paths, I think that that culture will always exist to some extent. It will always attract the people that, ultimately want to play in the casino. And I think at this point, many of them sort of have understood and accepted the rules of the game. And it is a PvP arena, right? And there are outliers. There are things that definitely do try to further instill that sense of community and try to encourage believing in something, but it's few and far between. And I had this conversation a couple years ago at the start of the meme coin cycle, and I said, what happens if we just turn everything into a meme? Every current event, every influencer, celebrity, every internet joke, you're just going to end up bastardizing everything. And then ultimately, why are we tokenizing anything to begin with? It's not going to have sustainable value. And so I think that Squeeze's approach, right, is yes, there's going to be, the fun degen side of things. And I'm sure that we will capture some of that market share. But primarily what I want to focus on is actually moving the needle as far as the stigma, the stereotype against crypto, against meme coins, that it can be more than just a quick pump and dump scam, that it can actually have, a positive influence on people's lives, a real world impact that can scale and that can garner attention for the right reasons. And that, I think that if we can sort of, get back to the basics of what the culture once was, that there are going to be people that support that more than the more recent trends, and that they want to be a part of that because they're believers just like us, because they're good people just like us, and because ultimately I think everyone, especially coming out of COVID, right, and maybe it's a little different now, but I think that ethos still exists, that like people want a sense of belonging to something, people want to feel a part of something greater than themselves. And we can foster that, right? We can provide the right tools and transparency and the right reassurances and protections that, like I said, yes, there will always be some element of it that continues to be degen, trading in the trenches, but I think that ultimately it can lead to much more established influences, leaders, role models wanting to tokenize, but actually feeling comfortable and safe to do so, where they know their communities that have not been onboarded to crypto yet are going to be, are going to be protected, or are going to be put in a position to thrive and win, and to be a part of something that the blockchain, kind of like enables.
Got it. Very nice thoughts. Let's move to Crack Dev here. Crack Dev, let's talk about your background. I mean, Anon kind of alluded to it a little bit. He mentioned that you were kind of crypto native dev, but feel free to share your background, and then we can kind of start moving to the product side.
Yeah, I'll try not to take too much time. I guess I came into the space back in 2016. I had a minor in computer science, majored in accounting, actually. Fun fact, I actually do have a CPA. So nice. So I do have a deep net kind of with exposure. I've worked for some really big companies on both sides, programming as well as finance, accounting, etc. Around 2018, I kind of transitioned primarily into programming and developing. Got really deep into smart contracts at that point. Got to work with some of the kind of OG, research audit DAOs like Spearbit, etc. Got a lot of exposure there. Ended up working on a lot of big NFT projects as well throughout the time. Working on some, ERC 721 stuff. Since then, I've also taken some time to kind of do my personal passions. We had a lot of fun kind of in the meme coin cycle, I guess you could say, with all the fun groups. Had some runners. We had a really good time there. But, as you pointed out, things kind of shifted. So my focus kind of changed as well. And I've been trying to build things that are more sustainable and user-friendly in the long term to try to mitigate any of the potential exposure and impacts to people. And kind of the big reason for that, and I would say is Waka. I always joke about him, but I bring him up. He got rugged really hard. And I am kind of known within those circles to be building a lot of things. And I kind of came on board to help him, build some stuff and put some meaning and some meat behind his vision, his projects, and where he was kind of taken advantage of. And that's somewhere that I continue to support. But since then, we've been looking at alternatives on how we can kind of build mechanisms to essentially make onboarding much safer for these larger individuals and audiences. And that's essentially what created Squeeze, is just creating something that's fair and sustainable over the long term.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's get into Squeeze, the launch pad. Let's talk about what you guys do. Maybe we just start high level, and depending on either of you can take this, whether it's Anon or Crack Dev. But tell us a little bit about, what you're building with Squeeze and why you're building it. And maybe we start with Anon.
Oh no, definitely go to the dev for this one, please.
Okay. Crack Dev, it's on you.
So sorry, why we're building what we're building? You said?
What are you building and why?
We are building a launch pad. That's like the bread and butter, I would say, behind it. The difference between us and kind of every other launch pad is that we're building with custom contracts. Like we're utilizing Doppler as kind of their contract. They have a lot of capabilities. And
what is Doppler?
Doppler is essentially a subarm of Whetstone Research, which is essentially a very, very good group of devs and quants that are kind of creating these smart contracts that allow customization. There's not too many people that are actually building off of the different variables that you can customize. A lot of people are going with kind of just generic, slopes and curves. But what we're trying to do is create like custom mechanics where you can create fair entry points for users. And I'm sure we'll kind of dive deeper into the product, but I would say that's kind of the key point there. We're trying to make things that are fair. And along with that, we're also building out a lot of social mechanics within the app, like group chats, ways for people to split fees with each other and be more transparent with each other.
Nice. No, group chats and splitting of the fees. That makes us for some interesting like knock-on effects. So tell me about the Launchpad. Like what makes you guys different, and let's dive into the deeper side of the product.
Yeah, for sure. What makes us different? We're more curated towards, or more centric on the users and the creators. So the biggest distinguishing factor is that we actually pay creators almost like 2x the fees that a lot of other platforms will pay them. And that's just kind of one of our principles. A lot of the ways that some of these platforms are built are to distribute out tokens that they're earning as fees, essentially kind of impacting charts negatively and extracting kind of liquidity. And that's against our principles. So all the tokens that we kind of claim as fees, we do not do anything with them. It is a little bit of an accounting situation, unfortunately, but it's just the more sustainable and ethical practice that we're trying to implement and roll out to people, show people that things can be done differently.
Let me just jump in here real quick. So you give out the most fees of any Launchpad. And just to understand that correctly, there's two sides to the fees. There's fees that go to the creator, and of course, that can be you mentioned that can be split and things of that nature. Maybe we get into that a little bit more too. But then you mentioned on you guys' side, on the team side, you guys are earning fees, but you're earning that in like the underlying like an ETH or SOL, or are you earning that in the tokens, or both?
Both. So we do it against the liquidity pool. So our philosophy is to not necessarily negatively impact the pool and take liquidity out of it, but to sustain it. So yes, when there's buys, we take from the buy side, which is the quote token, and when there's sells, we take from the actual new token side, right? Like the meme coin or the project token, and we take those kind of essentially out of circulation. We treat our wallet almost like a burn wallet for those communities, and it gives them kind of, I don't know. It gives them some exposure in, our balances. They show up in certain scanners. They don't have to worry about us kind of dumping on them and extracting those fees. And then, we're looking at ways where we can kind of implement, depending on the community, we're trying to find mechanisms where we can utilize those as rewards for their communities, so they don't actually have to give things out of their pocket or take away from their
Wow. Okay. All right. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking here, gentlemen. This is insane. Okay, so you're thinking about doing like the sort of like Ansem airdropping mechanics, building that into your platform. But that's not a feature now.
Well, we're slowly building it in right now. So there's like default features for community. So I mentioned like the group chat. So right now, any coin that launches automatically gets a group chat that your holders on the site get access to. When anybody from your community wants to launch a coin, they can do it directly within that group chat, for example, and your entire community that's participating will be able to share the fees and the rewards with that launch. So it creates kind of like this, I don't want to use that silly term flywheel, but it's like it's a recurring fee distribution that the community can utilize to their advantage, right? Whether that's distribution, onboarding, or, even pumping up their chart a little bit.
Okay, so that's actually really interesting. You basically collect fees, and I'm assuming the on the creator side, they also collect in both, not just supply, but both supply and like the Sol ETH whatever quote token.
That is correct.
Perfect. Wow. Okay, that's really interesting. So you guys kind of act as a way to sort of like lock up supply as well. I mean, I say that loosely, but is that wallet that you guys have, is that something that's what's the OPSEC with that? Is it multi-sig? Is it like a burn wallet where you can only redirect, or is it kind of anything programmatic with that?
Yeah, so there is it's not a multi-sig right now. It is programmatic in the sense that we've I've built out my own, I call it the Unitwap instead of Uniswap, but it programmatically
I like that.
assesses kind of holder, and I actually have that ad on Twitter, but it assesses essentially hold times and positions of holders from who entered essentially on the fair launch versus who bought after. And it does the trading for me. So it will claim the fees on behalf of the protocol, and it will accumulate our squeeze token just based on like time weighted averages. Like sometimes it'll start eating dips that come, and sometimes it just literally pours fuel on the fire into pumps. But the key is that right now that is 100% accumulation as we go for like product growth.
Wait, let me just make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So the fees that you guys get on the quote token side, like Ether Sol, go all into buying squeeze programmatically on dips, or like even like buying into the chart as it's ripping.
Yeah, like if you were to look at our protocol wallet on the squeeze chart, it's just constantly hammering it, whether it's down, whether it's up. It just kind of like twaps when it's supposed to. And we've built it that way so we don't have like any intervention from our side. Granted, we are doing the 100% model right now just for the sake of like pushing it. And the goal right now is that we have a 50% allocation in like our docs that will continue forever across like all tokens that are deployed on the protocol.
50% allocation. Can you explain that one for me?
Like right now we're doing 100% to pour fuel on the fire, but for the docs, like once we get some momentum, we're gonna lock it in as like the Unitwap will fire 50% of all collected.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, awesome. Wow, you guys are doing something different. Talk to me about. I'm just making sure that there's no other questions on that. So fair warning, I might circle back to this part of the conversation at some point. But your launch pad is multi-chain. Talk to me about that a little bit. Is there any like security concerns, like smart contract risk, or I know there's more questions that need to be asked as soon as you try to go multi-chain. So talk to me about the multi-chain side of things.
Yeah, I do love that. We focused on Robinhood just because it had that momentum, so it was the perfect time to get some attention and see some market share. With the EVM side, both Base and Robinhood, we utilize kind of the Doppler smart contracts, so they're safe. They're audited by multi-million-dollar research firms. They're VC backed like through the wazoo, and then that kind of gives us the assurance there. On the Solana side, we're utilizing Radium, and the main reason we're doing that is because that allows the same fee collection mechanisms that collect both the quote and the token itself. That way we don't have we can maintain our same practices across all chains. We do have Privy integrated into the site for security, so we don't retain any private keys or anything like that. And when you do connect the wallet or sign up with your email, it automatically creates you the both wallets, an EVM wallet as well as a Solana wallet. And then we've kind of built out the entire site to be kind of chain agnostic. So as you're kind of navigating through the site and you go to a Solana token, it automatically presets your wallet to Solana. If you're on a Robinhood or Base, it will default to that chain. So the entire site is built out to utilize Privy to its fullest extent.
Do you guys have like an app or anything? I just feel like it would be really cool if you have like an app built on top where it's kind of like FOMO style, where you don't have to worry about bridging or whatever. You just buy whatever you want and deposit and use that fund to buy.
So actually, two answers to that. The first answer I'll say is like on the actual website itself, we do have the coin. sorry, the TWAPA thing just made me laugh so much. That's
no, you're good.
It's like a joke.
I also love the bug on the PFP's head there. I thought that was a bug on my screen for a second, but
I didn't even notice
not.
that at first. Yeah, look at that. Sorry, that's just a joke with the Uni TWAP. Everyone just says get to the TWAPA, like the
get to the TWAPA. yeah.
Whenever there's a diff, the community screaming get to the TWAPA, which is fun. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. What were we saying there?
Your guess is as good as mine.
TWAPA.
Yeah, the TWAPA threw me off there. I forgot what my question was. It might come back to me, but while we wait for that,
an app on top of the thing.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. So what I was going with is right now on the actual website, we do have the Coinbase on-ramp integrated, right? Like we're kind of approved with them, so we have direct integration. There's no KYC for $500 per week. Any user can just go there, click add cash, and they can deposit with their credit card and or debit card.
How did you get approved? What does it take to get approved by that for that?
So I've worked with so there's more back to that lore, right? I've worked with Jesse in the past.
Nice.
Yeah.
On what, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, I built Base Drop for Waka, like Waka Flocka Flame. I built him a protocol kind of there in a Web3 music label that's kind of going through a. Right now, we're trying to find a new distribution partner for integration, but it's essentially a Web3 music protocol that I built for him that allows like songs to go live and create tokens behind them and distribute royalties, etc. So he's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a completely separate thing. But through that is how I've gotten pretty deep with the Base and kind of Coinbase teams and ecosystems. And then, yeah, just going through like their standard dev portals and applying and getting like the necessary approval. It's usually just a sign off. But the key there is security, and utilizing Prewave provides them that insurance that we're not necessarily onboarding funds to private keys that we can, be hostile with. It's into a very safe platform like Privy, right? Or wallet extension.
Other than Waka Flocka, any other you mentioned international artists earlier. I forgot to ask, any other artists like that you worked with?
Yeah, so NFT times we did some stuff with Snoop. Even for Squeeze right now, we do have our business manager is kind of like the kingpin of Atlanta, is what we joke about. So he's heavily integrated and manages a lot of people. Direct access to Waka, Lil Baby, Andre 3000. Like you kind of name these people, and one way or another, they're kind of like direct access, but primarily it's like the Waka, the Lil Baby, Snoop. We did a little bit of stuff with the metaverses back in the past. There is a very deep network there, and a lot of people kind of watching to see how we can do this fairly, because one big problem for them, and sorry, I'm going off a little bit, but
no, keep going.
They've been taken advantage of a lot, and I know there's a horrible stigma and reputation behind those people. So I don't even necessarily tooting their horns or talking about that. But it seems the ecosystem thrives and does better, like those cabals and those actors, when they're able to make people like that look incompetent and look like bad actors. So everyone there is kind of taking a step back right now and watching us to see how we can build this out in a fair way. And these fair launch mechanisms and custom bonding curves are kind of what allow people to bring wider audiences in to participate. So yes, I worked with a lot of them, and a lot of them are kind of watching and waiting to participate.
They're watching you.
They're watching Squeeze. We're friends, I can say. They're watching Squeeze. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. The reason I asked, and we do all this, all these questions are for a reason. And I love that so don't worry about, oh man, I'm going off on a tangent. Don't worry about it. Got you. We know that now distribution is the moat. Like with AI, with, you know, vibe coding. Like anyone can build anything if you're competent enough to some degree. But at a certain point, it's about distribution, it's about adoption. How can you onboard users? How can you go from 0 to 1? So I think that was a very like important piece of the interview to dive deep on. But let's get back to the original thought that that led to this rabbit hole.
Back to the app. So I do have an app right now in test flight, in addition to what I was just saying about, you know, easy access funding. We're polishing it up right now. We wanted to make sure all of our kind of big features were, you know, good and live, just so when we go through our review process with the App Store, it's a lot smoother. Have had apps that went through many times, have done many of them, and yeah, we're kind of getting close to pushing this one through.
Very nice, very nice. So give me some context and some context for the audience as well. How long have you guys been up and running? Give me some stats, you know, volume on the platform, number of launches, how far up on the leaderboards are you, or yeah, give me some metrics to go on.
Yeah, so I'm actually opening up some stuff right now. So I think we've done,
and if you'd like to show that, you're more than welcome.
Oh shoot, I don't know if I was prepared to
no, if you're not, no worries, you can just read off numbers if anything, but just, you know, let you know that option is available if needed.
Yeah, no worries. So we have done over $4.8 million in volume so far. We have right now, just I see it on the site, 100 coins launched, and about, I would say 5 of them have gone through kind of that squeeze mechanic where they've essentially kind of, you know, hit a certain point along the curve and they've had their, like, you know, explosive moments. Those are, I guess, the big metrics that you're kind of looking for right there. In addition to that, I want to say we've put about 30K back into the chart so far. So when I was saying that we're doing 100% of the protocol fees, at the same time, I've been doing 100% of the creator fees on the squeeze coin. And in the public markets, we've now kind of accumulated back 12% of the total supply.
Jeez.
Just remember that technically on that first distribution curve, there's really only 50% of it that was in circulation. And right now there's about 53% in circulation. So as our number grows from 12 closer to 50, that floor is essentially just, you know, building with liquidity. And yeah, we're taking a lot of that supply out of circulation.
So let me walk back and make sure I get this right. There's 50% of circulating supply that started out. Like, talk to me about the tokenomics a little bit.
Yeah, actually, here, you know what? Yeah, I'll talk to you a little bit about the tokenomics, but at the same time, I'm trying to see if I could pull something up on my screen to essentially make a lot more sense for people watching.
Got it. And
yeah, go ahead.
Keep going. Yep, keep going.
Yeah, so we did a public fair launch, and the reason we did that is because we wanted everyone to have a kind of an equal opportunity to participate in the token launch itself, and not necessarily take an unfair advantage. Like Anon was saying, with kind of like the bundling and all these practices, we're not really necessarily looking to do that. We want kind of the ownership and the growth to go back to the community, hence why we're putting a lot and so much of those fees back into the charts. So I'm just going to actually try and share my screen right now really quick so I can give you a better
Whenever you're ready, I can pull you up.
Yeah, okay. So you give me a little buffer period, right? You guys can't see anything, right?
No, you're good. Just let me know when, and I'll get her up.
All right, yeah, go for it. And I'll show you kind of the concept here and the mechanisms just from the website. You can see it clearly?
Yes, we can. And if you can zoom in, maybe that would be nice.
Yeah. So that's a little much. So we do have a docs page over here. If you go on our site, same in the mobile, it's like a little docs button in the bottom right corner of your phone. Here we show you the concept of what our fair launch is, and this is kind of what distinguishes us from, you know, other platforms and other communities. Even we have this dual curve model. So most people typically just take a group of tokens and put it along a slope and distribute the tokens along a curve. What we've done is we've done a little bit of math behind the scenes to create a dual curve, which allows for two different distribution models. So we essentially went live here on curve 1, which is just flat. This gives everybody an equal chance to buy the token. We started at 125K market cap, and there was 50% of the supply along this curve. And this is where majority of the token holders got in. There's of course been, I don't know, turnover and trading and etc. But this is where the majority of the distribution had occurred. And then price discovery later happens, which is what we're in right now, which is kind of that price discovery model. And also what allows us to have such deep liquidity in the token.
Wow. Okay. And is this sort of available for all launches or just yours? Is that how all launches work?
Yeah, sorry, here you can actually see, this is actually, I'm logged into the protocol wallet itself. Fun fact, I'm going to take you over to the launch page, but just to show you guys, like these are kind of like the fees that we're earning here. And, this is the TWAPA's balances. We have stock pairs now. So we're now earning stock fees, which we want to distribute to holders of our tokens. And then you can see how we're retaining all of these fees. And you can even see that lovely, it's higher than I said. So we actually have, 6.7, almost 7% just in the protocol wallet, which has been, accumulating thus far, and will continue.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
At the top right of your screen, you see those 3 dots in that blue area there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and zoom in on that to 175. You hit the 3 dots on the right there. And then you should be able to, it should give you like an option to, there you go. Perfect. And there we go.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So back to the launch. It is available for everyone. We do have some simple default options as well as advanced. Advanced is where people can, build out these different mechanics. And we've kind of done all of the, the programming behind the scenes to allow people to fully dial these launches in. So this first one, you can of course choose your chains and choose your quote tokens. One thing we just rolled out was squeeze pairs. So we are going to have some coins launching that pair and squeeze and ultimately drive all liquidity into the squeeze token. And then we have some default launch options just to make it easier for people. But the fun part is if you were to actually go into the advanced mode, this is where you can actually start playing around. So you can actually select stock pairs, which is one cool thing. We have had some stock coins run. People are pairing with GME, Palantir. We saw a Boeing one, which was, a little special. But when you go down to the bottom, you actually get a nice visual of your curves and you can design them however you want. So if you want to stay on a simple slope, like a 1 curve, you can set your starting market caps. You can assign how much % a single wallet is allowed to buy and own. But if you want to go into these kind of dual curve models, we have some default preset fair launch models, which is, this is actually the model we use when we launch, which is the fair 120. And it shows how 50% of the supply right here was available on curve 1. And now we're in curve 2 price discovery. But same thing, you can set where these curves kind of start and where they kind of end, how much supply is available on each curve. And this just gives teams a way to distribute tokens in a healthy manner off the front without worrying about majority of their supply being bundled up by these random actors. I wouldn't say we defeated and eliminated the ability to snipe. We've just kind of made the ability to snipe meaningless. Depending on how long you sit on this curve 1, there's really no benefit for snipers coming in and blowing up your coin. They're just donating fees back to you, which is beautiful.
Question here.
Yeah.
So that curve 1, does the price change on that curve, or is it just like a set price where? Okay, nice.
It's like a public pre-sale. So that's one of the things too, right? We always have a pre-sale meta that spawns, and I'm sure we'll have one sometime soon. I always joke that this is kind of like a way of doing a pre-sale without being scammed. It's a public open curve where people can buy the tokens at the specific price. And if they don't want to hold them and wait till it goes to discovery, they just sell them back and you get your money back minus the fees. So it's like hosting a public pre-sale where no one's going to scam you. And that's what we did for Squeeze. Everyone that came in here bought. Sure, some people got out because they didn't have the patience, but they didn't lose anything. They just lost their the trading fees on the pool.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I can speak to that
feel free, Anon.
Hey, sorry that I got disconnected there. My phone overheated. But yeah, there is like just speaking to being, like a novice community creator, right? Not someone that's like a serial player. You can feel more confident.
Think we're having
Get
some
either
audio
A,
issues with you, Anon. I don't know if that's just me.
No, I'm hearing a little bit of the
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be network side, Anon. But yeah, I can't hear anything. Maybe drop out and drop back in and see if that helps. I know at a certain point you've done that a few times already, but maybe we can see if that helps. But yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Anon. Live show, it happens. It's okay. But
I think what he was saying is it might
Mhm.
look a little more complicated than it is, but that's only because I'm going into this like advanced mode. The reality is on the default mode, it gives you these options as well in a very safe preset manner that allows for price discovery and some fun, right? Like we don't want to overcomplicate it. We don't want to make it so you have to raise a lot more liquidity than you would on like a pump coin, right? Or any other coin. So we do have the ability to customize, but the default is, just the basics and the safe route that we've kind of, determined is appropriate.
Got it. I mean, no, this is like literally you're blowing my mind right now. So please continue.
No, that covers kind of the gist of it, and you can expand it as much as you want. You can it's really the world is your oyster. You can drag and drive. You'll get visuals of kind of how things will work. I do have to fix that slider right there because this should technically default move with it. But now that I'm catching that, I will fix that right after this call. You can just visualize exactly how you want your curve to look and where you want the supply to distribute accordingly.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's get to some classic stuff here. Vamping, PvP. Like how do you guys try to limit that as a launch pad?
Yeah, so we have time restrictions on how many tickers can be dropped within a certain time frame, and that's kind of like it was suggested by one of Anon's friends. Actually, it wasn't like an idea I came up with, but it seemed like the most logical way. Like, of course, some people will have redundant tickers. That's just kind of the reality of it. The key is we want it to be kind of like time locked. So, if we had a squeeze token launch, there's a time lock for a squeeze launch to essentially happen again, which will kind of eliminate some of that, that vamping and that, because it's all primarily FOMO driven, right? They'll take advantage of your clout, ride your wave, and then vamp you at that point in time. But yeah, we have some time locks in place. So if
how long?
Right now it's 48 hours, but we're trying to figure out it.
Nice.
We're gonna scale it as we go, right? Like as we're a newer protocol here, we don't have the vamping taking place right now. We just put it in there as a safeguard. But if things kind of move and there's a need to change that, whether it needs more time, less time, etc., we're gonna adapt as we go.
Got it. Wow, you guys are doing it, man. You guys are doing it. I'm trying to chat. Any other questions? Like think of all the hardball questions that you can think of, and throw them all at Crack Dev right now. Let me ask you this community question that came in, and maybe there's something that needs to be clarified here. Crypto Jones says, wouldn't this model highly discourage holders from entering after curve one? Maybe you can weigh in on that.
I wouldn't say highly discouraged because it's the same thing, right? It's like the idea, if you didn't buy on pre-bond, you're discouraged to buy post-bond, right? It's the same methodology. It's just how you decide to build a community and the foundation of believers, right? Most likely if people are getting in on curve one, it's because they have more of a long-term vision and want to participate in whatever they're buying. And if they don't, then they might just be out before you even make it to curve two. But the reality is it's no different than any other mechanism. It just provides fair and equal distribution off the front to avoid all that bundling, controlled supply and that kind of stuff.
Got it. I mean, at a certain point, not everyone's going to get in early, right? That's as people have edge, things of that nature. People stock the launch pad or what have you. So That I can completely understand. Anon, I think we got you. We just got you back. I don't want to make sure we get your thoughts. Anything you don't want to
Let's try one
weigh
more
in.
time. Is it better now?
Solid.
Yes.
You're amazing. You sound great.
Thank goodness. Okay, so there's several things that I just want to go over real quick.
Yep.
One, if you are like someone who is not very confident with launching coins, it's not something that you do every day, every week, you can have more reassurances and protections here that there was a test, right? And the test went like this. Creator puts in however much SOL or, ETH. And by the time curve 1 is over, with the creator fees, they have already gotten back their initial investment. Guaranteed. And so there is less of this anxiety of like, oh, I'm going to lose money if I don't sell on people with these tokens that I bought, right? Because you're going to continue earning on both sides. So I think that is going to open up more possibilities of better, more, I would say, just ethical people being willing to take that leap of faith to launch something. In addition to that, in regards to curve 2, with the question that person had just asked, you can only go so low, right? So if you buy on a traditional curve from one of these other launch pads, there is a possibility you're going to buy the top and it is going to go all the way to nearly zero. Whereas with the way these curves are set up, it cannot go below what curve 2 started at or what curve 1 bonded at. It's impossible. That's just the way that, these curves are designed. Again, more reassurances, more protections for more, I guess you could say, established people to be willing to, actually tokenize for their communities. Speaking of community, so I actually went back into my DMs from multiple years ago. One thing people have to remember, right? We get stuck in these kind of limiting beliefs and, what's right in front of us or what what is the trend? What is the fad? What is everyone talking about? Well, once upon a time, it's not what everyone was talking about, right? New things need to emerge. We need to, that is the beauty of decentralization, is that we don't monopolize into one platform or into one project or, where we follow the lead of one set of influencers or KOLs. The past 2 years have been really challenging to overcome that obstacle or to create more equitability in the space of people that want to take leadership positions, that want to be launching things, and that want to be creating tools for other people to, have more sustainable, successful projects. Robinhood, as the dev had said, is a really unique opportunity that we were ready to take advantage of. Like, we were ready to execute when that window of opportunity opened, that all of a sudden there is not a consensus in the market of where should you be launching things. Should it be Robinhood? Should it be Solana? Should it be, one of these stable coins that are popping up? In addition, the same applies to launch pads, right? We know like what has been the trend for the past couple of years. And I think that it's time that there are alternatives to that. And Robinhood kind of getting new people on chain, but even getting some people to just break old habits as far as what they were comfortable with. It's time to step outside of that comfort zone, because I went back to my DMs and I saw how those things that we are so accustomed to even got off the ground in the first place. There was BD, there was a bit of groveling, there was, that kind of like trial and error, learn as you go type of process. But we forget that so conveniently because we've just been, inundated with this, this feedback loop, right, from KOLs and from other established figures in the space that like, oh, this is how it's always been. That's just bullshit. It's not how it's always been. And so I think it's about time, it's actually long overdue, to demonstrate that, once upon a time we didn't all just default to the same things. And I think that's why, let's face it, 99% plus of projects are not successful the past 2 years of things that are being tokenized, because we've been defaulting to the same things that just don't work as well as they should. And one other thing as far as community, when I say like, you know, start from humble beginnings and see where it goes and scale grassroots and with the people that believed in you the earliest, like we are definitely emphasizing that that's how we want to scale, right? That we want to reward and we want to be most supportive of those that believed in us the earliest. We are, starting a mascot competition. So the official mascot of Squeeze.Run is coming directly from the community, and they're going to be incentivized to be launching their ideas. So, the community can then vote on their favorite. And I think those types of mechanics and those types of ways of growing with your community, and quite frankly, not at the expense of your community, is why we are going to separate ourselves.
Very interesting. I feel like you're almost you're very vision oriented. Where do you see Squeeze.Run making the most impact right now? I mean, I'm really kind of leaning into what you said about kind of the entrance of Robinhood sort of destabilized some of the norms that we previously had. People who were soul only are now kind of chasing Robinhood. Projects don't know where to launch. Meme coin deployers don't know where to launch almost. And you've created this launch pad that kind of incentivizes these ethical deploys. Like, how do you see yourself kind of going from 0 to 1 in this space? Is it something that just kind of organically happens, or is it something that you guys need to do?
There's definitely a level of networking and business development that has been ongoing to have more curated launches that can signal the rest of the market that this is something that is established, reassured, that it is something that is breeding positivity into the community. I think that our culture is something that can definitely differentiate us, and we want to continue to develop that. But what that's going to lead to once we have an even more secure foundation of people that believe in us and that are participating actively in that culture and launching, through our launchpad, it is going to open up more illustrious and even, further potential as far as our network, our connections to level up, right? To make an impact where others have attempted and quite frankly have failed, objectively have failed. And I'm talking about celebrities. I'm talking about Fortune 500s, right? Like I'm not here to play the degen trenches game my entire life. I want to see tokenization take over the world. And I don't think that it was going to happen as appropriately and as ethically as it should be from what has existed before us. And I think that when you have leaders that prioritize their ethics and their morals over extraction and clout and whatever else, it may not happen overnight, but when it happens, it is going to take the space by storm because we have those connections, right? And because we are going to be the type of people that are trusted to introduce those larger influences to the space securely, where instead of having Hawk Tuas and Trump coins and things of that nature, we can have things that actually become ecosystems and creator economies, right? Like these were buzzwords that I think many have dismissed and have abandoned and have forgotten. And it's like, we can't just forget those people. We can't just pretend that they're not going to also find their way on chain and tokenize. And so wouldn't it be great if there were sort of like these proactive efforts to provide the right set of expectations and tools and transparency that can encourage them to ultimately launch with the right people? Because I think where we're going to see the most success, or where our reputation is going to scale, is from things being more sustainable, right? Like we know law of averages, or statistics never lie. We know what the statistics have been up to this point. I want to challenge that expectation. I want to challenge the expectation that 99 out of every 100 launches are going to fail. Why is that? Is that really because of the creator, or is that because of the tools that the creators are using?
It's something that we've leaned into and talked about on this show as well, because it's almost like sometimes you're incentivized to kind of act a certain way, deploy a certain way, or what have you. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if it's easier to make money by deploying and rugging a token than it is to actually trade a token, then the market participants are incentivized to rug and deploy, and that's where you see this proliferation of all these serial deployers. So it does start at the protocol level, and it takes the teams changing the incentives in order to change behavior. I freaking stand with you guys, bro. I'm not even gonna I'm fully pilled. I'm squeeze pilled, if that's even a term. But I'm fully locked in with you guys. We went through quite a bit. It's been like, it's been about 45 minutes into the interview. We want to definitely respect you guys' time. So I mean, anything that you guys felt like we didn't cover and would like to cover, but I think the chat really enjoyed Anand's energy. Crypto Jones says this guy's fired up. So we definitely enjoyed this conversation. It's been absolutely phenomenal getting to know what you guys are building. I genuinely think that you guys can actually change the space. Like I think that genuinely. I'm fully pilled. I'm saying that fully pilled. And I purposely don't like dig into too much some of the projects that we have coming on for this reason. This is my genuine reaction to I mean, before this, you guys, it was just a launch pad. Generally, I knew what you guys were, but this is different. So anything else you'd guys like to share?
I'll just jump in one last thing. We do like to differentiate ourselves. We do want to do a huge chunk of rewards. Like, we're not just buying all this supply for no reason. We do want to give back to the people that are participating, our holders. We do have like leaderboards, ref links, etc. And the goal is to eventually start rolling out like, distribution methods. So we do want to give back to our people. And I think that alone is going to change, people's perceptions and understanding of how things can be or should be. That's just the one thing I'll add there. So there are going to be a lot of rewards coming as well. And
just to echo that, ultimately, I don't want trading to feel like a boiler room. I've been in these Telegram chats, right? Some are more approachable or more welcoming than others, of course. But ultimately, out of the 20 or plus that I'm in, most of them are all doing the same thing. And it feels like a constant grind. It feels dehumanizing, dissociative. Like, again, I want to challenge those expectations and that culture. Let's make it more fun. Let's make it more gamified. Let's take from, things that worked like video games and battle passes and achievements and tasks and reward those things where I don't want the only way you can be rewarded is to be, I have to sell on my friends. Yeah. There should be other ways to come out ahead without having to do it through PvP and at the people, at the expense of the people around you. So we're going to keep on challenging that expectation as well of how can we incentivize communities to want to scale and grow and thrive and not have that constant anxiety like I have as a trader, right? That's part of why I'm doing this. I'm not primarily I have a few convictions out there, but I'm not trading anymore. I don't want to trade in the trenches anymore because I'm tired of it. I've done it for the past 2 years. I'm fucking exhausted, right? Pardon my language, but I do think that there are others that are here right now that feel that way, but quite frankly, there are so many more people that have never even been introduced to trading and on-chain and meme coins and other stuff like that yet that are going to be more attracted to what we're building than what the space has gotten caught sort of trapped in this mindset that's all there is. I promise you that's not all there is.
Yeah. Man, I mean, the chat is basically the same kind kind of taking the words out of my mind here. Love this, got me hyped. I'm definitely resonating with the message here. So yeah, I mean, look, guys, really appreciate you guys stopping by the stream, getting us caught up as to what you're building, what your vision is, and what you're building towards. And I'll be personally kind of keeping up, and I'm gonna shoot you guys a follow right now too. But I think Crack Dev, I think you were gonna say something.
Oh no, sorry if it came off that way. Wait.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, I mean, dude, you guys are Chads. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, if there's anything else that you guys want to share from a vision perspective or what have you, let us know. But it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you guys. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having us. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and as you guys, absolutely, Anon, absolutely. As you guys gain traction, metrics, users, you guys have, I don't know, whether it's launches or just like updates generally for the platform, definitely would love to have you guys on. And so feel free to always, hit us up if you guys ever want to jump on.
No, for sure. We got a couple more guys joining the team, so maybe next time we can do a full team kind of introduction here. So should be fun.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you guys, Crack Dev, Anon. Appreciate you guys coming on stream today. Hope you had fun. We definitely did. But hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. All right. Take care.
Have a good one.
Bro, I'm pilled.
Chill.
I'm squeeze pilled.
Do I trust Pump Fun? LOL. What about
no? So there was a thing in the chat. I'll do takeaways here in a second because I got a couple takeaways from this. But he said, this guy says, Crypto Jones says, not gonna lie, but the undoxed team doesn't sit great with me. I get that. I get that. But here's the only reason why I'm gonna dismiss that. Number one, you have crypto OGs. They're more core to crypto ethos. Crypto ethos aligns with anonymity, privacy, etc. I'm a non on here, and I get the sense that you guys trust MCG. Keep coming here and watching it. Almost 1,000 people watching right now. And I would like to think that my conduct over time has proven that I'm someone that is a good actor in this space, right? And I think Crack Dev, Anon, going through their backgrounds, they've been operating in this space for a while. There's no red flags for me. So I get the hesitancy with undocs because it's just kind of hard to confirm. But I think they're OGs, they're core crypto ethos, and at the same time, they have a good track record from what I understand. Oh, and actually, they're still they're still here. The Crack Dev is still here. He said, "I am doxed to Jesse and to Waka." And I'm assuming Jesse is in Jesse from base. I'm assuming that. And then Anon says he's also doxed. Crack Dev says had video calls with Arthur Hayes and Mert as well. Whoa. We didn't dig into these relationships on stream. Crack Dev. Anon says I have a Business Insider article and spoke on NFT stages last cycle. So, okay. Oh, Anon says it's Tyler Stockfield. There you go. Fully doxed, guys. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Yeah, so there you go. There you have it. They're both somewhat doxed. That kind of solves that. But yeah, no, this is I like this. I like this as a platform. It's definitely checking a lot of the boxes. Yeah, me too, Crypto Jones. I'm glad we got to the bottom of it for sure. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. So takeaways from this. We've talked about this many times. I've said you need to change behavior at the protocol level. If you incentivize people to do bad things, they will do that. It's a free market. There's good people out there. There's bad people out there. There's people out there that prioritize money over morals. And there's people out there that do the opposite, right? Morals over money. So at the end of the day, if the platform encourages a certain behavior, people will do it. And I think with Squeezed Out Run, they're incentivizing people to be essentially good actors, right? Like they're doing what they can as much as they can to, like the max wallet for a few percent, right? Like if you want to set max wallets can only hold like 2-3%. I mean, generally speaking, in the trenches, you buy more than like, I'll say 2.5, but that's pushing it. My personal is like more than 2%. That's actually a little too much. But having all these configurations being available inside the platform, I think that's really awesome. They have a way of reducing like vamps and PvP through with the delays. They also have a distribution. I don't know if you guys heard. If you watch back, you listen to Who Crack Dev Knows. Who's watching Squeeze.Run right now? Who is he speaking to and has a deep relationship with? Who has he worked with in the past in terms of bigger name artists and things of that nature? When we talk about deploys, when in the context of Squeeze.Run, I get the sense that this isn't just deploys that are Web3 native. These are deploys of, non-crypto people that are kind of looking to come into the space, maybe launch a little fun meme coin or something or whatever it is, but do so in a way that will protect their own reputation. Because before, people just had to act stupid and act like they didn't know and didn't understand it to kind of avoid any sort of consequence. So I think all these little pieces are coming together. And I'm going to show you one last thing as well that shows why I'm kind of bullish, especially here. And let me share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen. Bang, add to stage. Look at the Squeeze.Run chart, guys. Think under 700K market cap, close to support. I mean, this is checking boxes, kid. I promise you. Now, I'm not trying to come off like super trying to like, oh guys, you should buy the coin. I'm not trying to come off like that. I'm just saying that I told you guys on the interview, sometimes like I purposely don't dig in too much to these guests because I want to be curious. I want to be excited. I want to like genuinely react to the vision that they're sharing with me. And look, there's been interviews where it's like, hey, all right, man, hey, appreciate you coming on. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care. And it's quick little takeaway, and it's that. You hear those reactions. How many times have you heard me react like this, where I'm like genuinely excited about something? So again, not trying to shill, but really just respect the approach that they're taking. The last aspect was they're not looking to extract, right? Their own protocol wallet will essentially act like a burn wallet, at least for some time. And when it's not a burn wallet, it'll eventually turn into a way that they can reward their community. Imagine having a launch pad where you can essentially launch Ansem style tokens where you can reward communities for activity. People can earn and get airdrop stuff. Like that creates a much different environment, a much different dynamic amongst traders, and it attracts a much different audience that in Crack Dev's case might not even be totally Web3 native. We could be talking about, much larger folks. So going back to our earlier positioning as we were starting up the stream, this is pre-bull market, man. Don't think about the next week, the next month. Think longer term. Think in terms of the next 12 to 24 months. I get the sense that that's what the Squeeze.Run guys, that's how they're thinking about this launch pad. It's not just a here today, gone tomorrow. Let's make a couple, shiny new mechanics on it, and let's see if we can get some runners. No, they're legitimately saying that, hey, we have a launch pad that's different. Oh man, I forgot to ask them if we can do all coins on one chain at once instead of having to choose in between the three. I forgot to ask them about that. Maybe we can maybe I can ask them in our group chat. But Yeah, I mean they're doing some good work. They have the platform mechanics, right? They have so all the things to prevent vamping, PvP, incentivize the right behavior on the deploy side, trader side, right? They have the distribution. This is not just crypto native, right? We talked about his network and who he's associated with. And then the last thing is they have the tokenomics. And not only the tokenomics for the squeeze token, but the tokenomics for every native squeeze.run token, where a supply will be accumulated by the protocol wallet and used to at first lock supply, but then eventually actually airdrop supply to users like Ansem style. So I really, really love this. And Crack Dev, I see you. He's still in the waiting room here, just listening in. But he says not yet. But yet being the operative word there. So I'm assuming deploys on multiple chains is going to come at some point, and I think that'll be a really nice, really nice feature. Dang, dude, I'm squeeze pilled, bro. I'm squeeze pilled. I promise you. RJ, when y'all bringing on pawns? You late, man? Where you been at? We have pawns on, bro. Every launch pad outside of Noxa, bump Noxa. Every launch pad we've pretty much had them on. Any launch pad on Robinhood, we've brought on pawns. Oh, we're still waiting on deployer. We're still waiting on deployer. Dang it. Yeah, we don't have the banker guys. I don't know, man. Like I don't know if he's fading MCG. Maybe y'all should hit him up in his comments and let him know. I don't know. I've tried hitting him up. We DM back and forth. He said, all right, bet I'll come on. We get him into the group with the team and blah, blah, blah. And then it just ghost town. But, that's fine. That's fine. Not even worried about that. But for the most part, we've had most of the launch pads on MCG. So
if you want to watch our virtuals day or pawns, just go to YouTube and search @MCG_live, and you'll be able to see all our recordings there. But also, you just go to our profile and search at the top there and search pawns.
Yep. And you can even go to MCG Live. Just go hit MCG Live on Twitter, link in our bio, takes you straight to our YouTube.
Yes.
And that'll also get you there pretty easy.
Hey, yeah, I saw some questions around the Discord. What are we doing around the Discord here?
Ain't nobody get let in. Ain't nobody get let in, big dog. Nah. I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. We are going to get some people in the Discord at some point. Right now, we're selectively getting people in. There's a couple features that I dropped in the Discord this morning. Like we hit some new, we opened some new channels. There's going to be like a trading voice chat as well. So we'll basically camp in the voice chat. We're probably going to need that in the bull market when things get dummy and things are running, faster than we can type. We're going to need a voice chat. And then sometimes, who knows, like, if there's like a holiday or something like that, and we're not streaming on MCG, but it's popping off, maybe I just hop into the voice chat. Right.
This is, can we check P0? See what they're doing. By the way, P0 hit us up in the replies, so we're gonna try and get that scheduled for next week. I know some people are interested in P0, but man, guys, again, I knew about P0 like sub 100K. I owned it at like 80K, I think. Sheesh. Back in the day. Just another one of those, founder, young guy, and he actually came on MCG back in the day too. Just hopped on as an anon, kind of like a whatever. SIG. But then he came on with Dom and actually had a great show. We got a lot of DMs from some pretty reputable projects, some very large projects that you all know, trying to connect with him. So
yeah, awesome. So here is the P0 chart. actually looking pretty solid in a pivot entry here. We know the pivot entries kind of play out there on Solana, testing those out on Robinhood to see how they do. But yeah, looking good in a nice little bid zone there. And yeah, seeing somewhere that they are buying 600K GPUs. Let's check their Twitter maybe.
Yeah, I think there's like added friction when, you know,
Josh, I gotta hit the thing real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Take
no
it for a
worries.
second.
Yeah, no worries. So one thing about P0 here, and I'm going to keep this up because I want to talk about it, but he is in China, and just getting to China is tough, but knowing people there to get data centers built out or GPUs built out, I think is, you know, definitely notable. So go watch that stream. Young guy, but seemed like he was very, very smart. And so, yeah, to his lady as a, I'm not even gonna, we keep family out of it. Let's just say that we keep family out of it. It's, they don't need to be exposed to the degeneracy that happens in these circles. But yes. Yeah, so long story short, I think was it something Pepe, he's done the work. He's definitely done the work. But yeah, Chill, I believe, is going to the bathroom. I would say that is what he's doing. But yeah, what else are you guys looking at? Like what? Man, I was delimbing Jimothy yesterday. The White House puts out that tweet promoting the meme. It obviously rips. But man, just the crime these guys sell into the chart. So these meme coin promoters have an in with the White House, it seems. I guess, how it goes is any culturally relevant thing, the White House tweets it out, and these guys just, have it like bundled up and ready to go. And they just know someone on the inside say, oh yeah, this is what the kids care about. This is what's trending. Tweet this out. Boom. The meme coin rips, and then they just unload into it. Absolute despicable behavior. Sell the news, oldest playbook. I did generate some crazy fees on it, so for what it's worth, it was just ripping fees. But definitely when it falls out of your range, you gotta cut that quick. So, yeah, man, unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable behavior. But it did generate a lot of fees if you're delimbing it. So I had mine a bid side only, soul only, so I didn't get cooked on it, but definitely should have made more money than I did just because the fees were running up so high. But the raccoon was cute. I'm not gonna lie, the raccoon was kind of cute, but absolute crime is what it is. Sorry,
Yo.
back.
Yeah, back. Yeah, what was I was talking about the Discord. So real quick, we will open up the Discord at some point. So here's a few things that I'm working on. I made some new sections, some new channels and servers. We made the voice chat. That's gonna be pretty solid. The other thing is that we will let people in, kind of like trickle in over time. We don't want just a flood of new people coming in. It's going to be a flood of like messages and activity. So like I know everyone wants to get in, but literally for like a full month, we were like telling everyone to get into the MCG Discord. So you had like literally a full month to get in. And at some point, we'll open up the Discord to the public. And at least the plan is anyway, open it up to the public. And you'll be able to get access to a select few channels, few channels at first. And then, from there. Yeah, RJ, man, you know what the test is? The test is, are you supporting MCG? That's really what the test is.
Are you in the chat? I would
Like,
say this, like, we just do it by call outs on stream. And if I see in the chat and you send a DM, you'll get it.
That's really all it is. You know, we know. Yep, Dom said it. Dom said it. Got to earn your way into the big boy chat. I mean, look, you guys know all the cooks that we've called there and stuff like that. I don't need to reiterate all that, but literally, there's a lot of value there. But it's just that value will definitely die if we just let any and everybody in, right? So, we just want to make sure that we keep the signal high. But at the same time, we want to reward people that like really push for MCG. Look, we're doing this for the free ski, bro. We're doing all this for the free ski. Like we've been streaming for almost a year and a half. And you guys, shout out to you guys. You guys have been a mad, like huge support to us. So we really do appreciate it. So we know you. If you're in the chat and you're talking to us every single stream, you're retweeting the streams, you're liking the content, you're commenting under the MCG Twitter, you're in the chat, you're asking questions on interviews and stuff like that. We want people that really support us. Because everything we do is free. This is not a paid Discord. I don't get paid to hunt all this alpha and bring it to y'all or anything like that. Like we really don't get paid for it. It's just a matter of doing it. It's valuable, something, and that's what we've built this stream on. It's just delivering value to the audience. So yeah, that's the only thing we would ask in return is just to support MCG. Shout out Pepe, got to be loyal to MCG. Pepe is one of them. We just let Pepe in like the other day because we were like, wait a second, you've been on this stream for how long? And we didn't realize you weren't in there, so we got him in. We know who you are. So over the next couple of weeks and months, man, let your name be known. Let your name be seen in the chat, you know, retweeting the streams, like all that stuff, bro. Support us. Ride for us, and we'll ride for you for sure. For sure. Crypto Jones, repost and tune in regularly and take part in the chat. If you hang around long enough, you'll get in. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Crypto Jones, you remember the meme? The let me in. I gotta find that meme. I gotta find that meme. Let me in. Yeah, it's this meme right here. This meme is crazy. I'm gonna share this. Let me stop screen share real quick and reshare. So, Top Plumber, you remember this? You remember this year?
Yo.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me in. Let me
in. Oh my god, I love that. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Wait, is that like the he was doing that out front of I remember he was doing political stuff, right? Out front of like the conferences and stuff.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was from. That's hilarious.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. But yeah. No, really appreciate you guys. Honestly, I think that's all I got today, Josh. Let me just real quick do a little cruise around in my bookmarks, just make sure I covered everything. Oh, I got some important news. Hold on. I got some important news. Like the world just paused for this. Bang, y'all saw that?
Show
Big Braun to the 76ers. What are we talking about? Big Braun to the 76ers. Man,
people in Toronto were like low key, like I don't know if it was clickbait, but they were just trying to say, "Oh, he might come to Toronto." I'm like, no, he's not. He's definitely not going to Toronto.
Respectfully, with all due respect.
No, he was that. It was definitely he was not doing that. So,
let me see here. The other thesis was,
but Toronto getting Kawhi Leonard and was it we're trying for Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan back, and then we'll have a nasty squad. We'll run it back. We'll run the championship back from 2019 for sure.
Dang, Crypto Jones, chill, bro. Oh my gosh. Yo, chill, bro. Oh my goodness. Yo, we gotta, man, Crypto Jones, bro. I really appreciate like how much you're in the chat. Literally always from the jump.
How old
bro.
do you think I am? I'm actually probably a little younger than you think I am, but yeah.
How old do you think he is, Crypto Jones?
I'm not that old. I really am not that old.
Let us know. Ooh, how do I get MCG merch?
You know what? Look, guys. I have the OG stuff right here. This is the original. I have probably 10 of these left. I've been thinking about making them collector items in a way. There'll be a bit of premium pricing on these ones. Because they're just special to us. And but I do have in the package from our first conference in Met Dobby. Again, Dom and I went and didn't really know what we were doing, just kind of showing up. But these are the OG ones. I've just, it's been hard running the show and figuring out, what we're gonna do on the merch side. I want it to be cool. But I want it to also be kind of significant enough to, be good. But you know what? RJ just got to do it. I think 47, bro. Are you serious? Like remove like 15 years from that. That's crazy.
Jesus, man.
What
Dude,
I'm not in my 40s. I'm way younger than that.
That's disrespectful, bro.
That is funny. You're funny for that. So you're funny. That's hilarious. That's absolutely unacceptable.
MCG is like early Sports Center days with Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott. I don't even
He
know
said,
who that is.
You don't know who Stuart Scott is? Yo. All right. Before we get to who that is, Crypto Jones said he's just effing around. Your 37th birthday is in the spring.
Facts. I'm definitely a Taurus. Although I don't care about whatever those are. I don't even know what they are, but yeah, I am
like the what do you call that? I forget. I don't really pay attention to that
Astros things. I don't know what is
something.
Astrology? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. All respect to it, but I don't really pay attention. Okay, Stuart Scott, Zodiac signs. Yes, there you go. Stuart Scott, bro. Stuart Scott is this OG like Sports Center analyst, super Chad guy. He basically passed away due to cancer, and it was like a gut-wrenching thing for like the sports analyst industry. Like, they had like you know how when players retire, they go on like a retirement tour type thing. It was like that for Stuart Scott. Like when he got cancer and it came out, it was just like, everybody was just like showing love to him and stuff. Really good guy, really good analyst. Hey, yo, Crypto Jones. Y'all don't trade on the star alignments, dude. The alpha is in the night sky. Can I say, like, I personally, I do not, unfortunately. But you know who does, bro? You know who does? I'll show you right now. And it's someone we actually monitor. He's on the Chads. He's on my Chads list, bro. He's on my Chad list. But it's someone I pay attention to his stuff a lot. And you guys know who he is. Let me share my screen again. Hold on. My bad. Boom, boom. Share screen. Killa XBT, bro. He pays attention to the alpha in the night sky. It's crazy. Speaking of which, this is actually basically kind of my a visualization of my base case. Well, not technically. My base case is like breaching these lows here at like 60K. I think we breached those lows. He basically is like, nah, I don't think we breach it, whatever. But if that's just my base case. We breach it, marks a bottom, and then we go to the top. But this all incorporates astrology in some way, somehow. But I don't really know how that stuff works. it's a little bit out of my above my pay grade. But I think I'm good, Josh. I don't know about you. I think I'm good. Let me actually do this. Let's go back to the MCG page.
So you didn't answer me on the Discord. I don't feel like I have a firm answer.
What's up?
If we make a call out on the Discord and I go to the DMs and I see someone who is in the chat, can we let them in, or what's?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's what we were saying. And Crypto Jones, he summed it up well. He summed it up well in the chat. He said repost and tune in regularly and take part in the chat. If you hang around long enough, you'll get let in. Simple.
All right, guys, I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm remembering names. Shoot the MCG live account. I'm in the private DMs right now. And
wait. We got to see some consistency first. It's not just whoever shows up for one stream.
All right,
we got to see you. We got to see you over some time. You know what? I'll put it on me. Don't even DM the MCG live. When it's time, when you feel like, oh man, I've been watching y'all for months, man, and I'm still not in the. If message me then. But because I see the chat every time. I know who's in our chat. I know who's not. I know who I've seen all the time. I know newcomers. I know where y'all watching me from. Shout out to Nicholas Anderson, by the way. I forgot to take a look at CPX because that comment came in like right before the first interview. But yeah, I mean, I know that Nicholas Anderson, I've seen him before, and I know that he's from YouTube. I know who's from Twitter. I know our boy over there on Twitch. Like, I know who you are. So
hey, is there an Enigma Viking crypto_ho or HO? I see you in the DMs. You said you want into the Discord, but I don't see in chat. So if you're in chat right now,
nah.
Chat, bro.
I'll make the call. Y'all gotta be. I'll make the call. Y'all gotta be on stream in chat. Y'all gotta be on stream in chat.
I don't see in chat, bro.
Yeah. But outside of that, guys, oh shoot, look at Crypto Jones. Great idea. Make it a privilege, something to celebrate, like earning a belt at karate class. I like that. Work for your bag. Yeah, we're bringing bag working back, man. We're bringing bag working back. That's all it is. Except it's just not a token. It's just MCG. Bag work for the stream, bro. That's it. But guys, outside of that, look, there's 1,000 of us here. Pretty much. Let's all go to @MCG live. Let's make sure we're hitting the follow button. If you enjoyed what you see today, just know that we do this Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We bring on crack founders, great builders, and quality projects on stream. We interview them live. We get the lowdown, and we see what they're about. If you like that, if you like what we do, make sure you hit that follow button. Scroll down, do two things for me. Wow, 13.1K. We love that. Go to the pinned tweet and just hit like and retweet on the pinned tweet. You can even do that on the stream instance as well. But go ahead and let the homies know. We're wrapping up now, but let them rewatch. There's a ton of alpha that we uncovered on stream. I even see you guys pumping the squeeze chart as well. But outside of that, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. We're dropping the schedule for next week, this weekend. So, feel free to watch the MCG live account for that. But I think that's all we got.
Top Fumbler, if you're still in here, I put out a tweet asking for projects. I think I should only refer to the Discord really for that because, you just get the riffraff kind of put there. But Top Fumbler, if you know some projects we need to look at, please just hit us up in the DMs. And honestly, boys, I have a hectic weekend here, but I was gonna say I was thinking of cracking a pint. I'm not gonna lie. Friday afternoon, thinking of cracking a pint, maybe a Guinness. I love Guinness, guys. I'm on my Guinness wave. Like Crypto Jones has accurately found out. I am a little bit older, but I'm on my Guinness wave Beard is still I got no gray hair on the beard, maybe a little bit on my head because, got kids and stuff. So
I was just about to say, you got kids.
But
Kids will give it to you. They'll do it.
But yeah, man, on the Guinness, let's go. If you haven't had Guinness, like a smooth Guinness, cold pint of Guinness, it is the best. Absolutely best. I'm curious about Vex. I mean, Vex, I think they're 4.5 mil. RJ, Vex was on as well. We chatted with Vex.
Yeah, we chatted with them. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Dude, we are all over Robinhood. I ain't even gonna lie. We covered pretty much everything there is to cover on Robinhood at this point.
Yeah, man. Like, look, Vex,
all the utility launch.
It was the only content they had ever done. Other than that, it was just an X account and like a non-group of guys, a couple of guys. So, but yeah, they were on last week.
All right, guys. Well, sounds good. It might not be uploaded on YouTube yet, RJ. I'll hit up the content guys and I'll let them know to be sure to upload that as well. I think most agentic stuff is slop here. Well, here's the thing. Pendle actually retweeted them or talked about them. Not even a retweet. They actually tweeted about them. Not that, tweets can just be like, tweets can just be kind of like, might not be a signal all the time. I understand the hesitancy with it. But yeah, like it definitely is one to watch. Yeah, agreed. It's definitely one to kind of put on the good old watch list. But all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all. See y'all on the timeline. See you in the Discord. And we'll see you next week. Deuces.